Okay, over to the conveners of today's session.
So Divakar, take over the proceedings.
Okay, okay, sir. Am I audible
Loud and clear.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are,
and visible
Divakar.
also? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Audio video is very much clear from your end.
Okay, sir. Okay. A very warm good morning to one and all present over here. I, Divakar Sahu, on the behalf of Mechanical Engineering Associations, welcomes you all to the third and vital episode of Alumni Talk. As it is said that every good work should embark with the name of God, so let's start our webinar with Saraswati Vandana. Now, moving ahead, as we all know that we are tackling with various sorts of diseases, and this time it is very crucial as well as beneficial to stay focused and be updated with the current scenarios of various career aspects an engineer can have. We are about to experience one such aspect, that is management field, with our esteemed senior and guest, Mr. Nawal Arora sir, an alumni of 2060 passed out batch. Mr. Nawal Arora is an entrepreneur, MP Steel Dealers and Traders, former group manager, Amazon India, where he had 140 plus CSAs and 8 team managers working under him. In Amazon, he was awarded as Best Team Manager for 2 quarters in the year 2018 to 2019 and also as Best Group Manager in the second quarter 2019 to 2020. Sir completed his post-graduation with majors in marketing and operations from ICFAI Business School, Hyderabad, where he was appointed as the president of the official operations club of IBS, known as Kaizen Club. And guess what? He won Best Managed Club Award in 2018. And not to forget his contribution towards MEA, he was one of the members who made SGT1 a grand success. The sponsorship we received from Nissan and Royal Enfield wouldn't have been possible without him. I hope with all this description, you all might have understood the actual meaning of the topic, stretching gears from technical to management field. Sir, I request you to please join us on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devakar, for this awesome introduction. I'm glad to be a part of this session. First of all, a very good morning to the HOD sir, respected faculty members, and all my dear colleagues and juniors as well. It's a great opportunity for me to be present for this session. But prior to starting discussing anything, I wish a very healthy and a happy stay to all of you. Please stay safe. We are going through a little tough time in India, wherein we are facing COVID-19. I hope all of you are staying safe, your families are safe, you all are doing good. And I'm pretty sure that you all would turn up to be one of the best bright minds that SSIPMT would produce in the coming years. Uh, to embark a journey, right, and to start off with how a person needs to switch from technical field towards a managerial field, right? So I'll quickly share a certain points that I followed throughout my journey, things that helped me, certain steps that I took to ensure that I am able to decide and diversify whether do I need to put my interest towards a technical or a managerial field, and then what additional help from the environment in terms of coachings, sessions, books, additional relapses that we all can take, and also how is our life in MBA and post MBA. So uh, I'll just share a couple of real life examples, right? And this is not because I am a pass out from SSIPMT I'm sharing this, but also because I actually had those scenarios into my life, and one of those examples clicked when we were studying RSC in Naveen sir's class. Sir would pretty much remember this. I was sitting on the leftmost corner side of the class, and we were just discussing, and all of a sudden sir brought up this topic that how many of you would want to go towards technical fields and would pursue RAC or thermal engineering or certain sort of that this subject towards your technical stream. And I remember almost more than 50% of the class raised their hands stating that yes, we would want to do that. And sir's attention directly came towards me because I did not raise my hand. And and at that point of time, when sir questioned me what exactly do you want to do and how do you want to do, and once I prepared myself mentally, that was the time it actually gave me a lot of boost up that yes, there is a faculty who is ready to support my decision and who believes in me, that yes, me being an individual can also pursue my career apart from technical field into a managerial role. And that is when it all started for me during my I'll say late 6th or 7th semester, when I decided that this is the field where I want to go in. Not that I had a little less interest towards any of the technical fields. I loved RAC, I loved thermal engineering, I loved fluid mechanics. These all subjects most of you would have studied or might be gonna study in the near future. But the main reason why I chose is because I heard one of our great leaders saying this: a sound individual who has both technical as well as managerial skills not only runs an industry but also owns an industry. And that is what actually did hit me, that having technical fields means having an engineering background, right? Not everybody has this opportunity to go ahead and take this stream of engineering, study through these 4 years, study the entire vast syllabus, understand how a machine runs, how our life runs, how computer works, what are the programs that are there, right? This Google Meet, it looks very simple for us, right? But somebody who would be from computer science or an IT engineering would actually understand what are the efforts, what are the inputs that are required, right? We all usually say that, wow, this car is awesome. This car runs at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. But a mechanical engineer would actually know what it takes to build out that engine, right? What it takes to endure that safety. So these are the points that we all get to study while we take engineering, right? But it's actually very important that we also study about time management, people management, building your personality, enduring a platform where you use your communication skills to sell out yourself. What do I mean by selling out ourselves, right? Today or tomorrow, even if you go for an internship, you go for a placement, you go for an MBA, even if you go for marriage, right? At that particular moment, you need to put out your identity. What do I additionally get if I take Nawal, right, into my team? Let's say we are playing a cricket match, right? What do I get if I take Nawal into my team? And that is where you sell yourself as an individual. आपको ये बताना बहुत जरूरी होता है कि मेरे होने से क्या फायदा है, मेरे ना होने से नुकसान नहीं बताना है, मेरे होने से क्या फायदा है. That is where your strength comes into picture, right? And that is what you learn into a managerial field. MBA, that is Masters of Business Administration, is one such field that helps you develop yourself as an individual to turn into a managerial role where you would be managing a lot of things. Well, I say managing, right? It's time management, money management, financials, right? Operations management, time management, lean management, Six Sigma. Then it comes into the managing your portfolio. When I say portfolio means, for example, let's say I'm Nestle, right? I'm a company called Nestle. I have 10,000 products under my domain, right? It's a very broad spectrum. How do I manage? In Assam, there is a particular product that would do good. In Bihar, there's a particular product that would do good. In Raipur, there's a particular product that would do good. How do I differentiate between certain teams who would do certain things better in one area, who would do certain things better in second area? Again, time management. I'll again and again put pressure on this point because in engineering, in MBA, in any technical field or any professional field that you choose, right? This is one of the most important things that you will have to follow. If you are able to manage your time, if you are able to maintain a very healthy work-life balance, by work-life balance, I mean a very healthy balance between how do you manage your family works, your professional works, building time, donating time towards building yourself as an individual. These are certain things that are pretty important. any coaching that you would take, right, for MBA or any technical course, right? Let's talk more about MBA, right? If you go for any coaching institute where they'll teach you how to prepare for cons, communication, LR, DI, data interpretations, etc., right? But nobody would actually tell you what to invest and where to invest. That you as an individual have to identify. कहाँ आपकी स्ट्रेंथ है और कहाँ किस बॉल पे आप सिक्स मार सकते हो, ये आपको खुद को डिसाइड करना होता है। ये आपको कभी कोई बॉलर नहीं बताएगा कि मैं लूज बॉल डालने वाला हूँ। That is exactly how life also works. You have to decide as an individual what is your strength and what are your weaknesses. It's very easy. Trust me, it's very easy to define out what is your strength and weakness. Just stand in front of mirror every day and say 5 different lines. Don't repeat a single statement, just say 5 different lines. The line at which you don't feel confident about yourself, that is the very particular thing is which will define your weakness. And rest all the 4 lines are your strength. This is how you differentiate what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. And this is what I usually used to do. While I was in my 7th semester, I had this mindset very clear that I want to go for a managerial field. I want to pursue MBA. This is the time when majority of my friends and again I'll take example of Akash sir, Naveen sir. Faculties already knew that there are a lot of students who were actually planning to pursue for GATE, right? Sir, you would remember Prakash, Nitish, these batchmates of mine, they, very close friends of mine, right? Highly influential. We all were highly influential on each other, wherein we used to share notes, discuss certain points, but still there was nothing that came as a hindrance for me wherein I thought that oh, I'm actually doing good in this subject, why don't I switch towards technical field? No, you need to be very crystal clear in your mind. What do you want to do? If you keep on fluctuating, right, technical, professional, technical managerial, trust me, at the end you would end up not doing great in either of the fields. The reason being, you are still into the dilemma and you would not be able to give your 100% towards one potential field. आप जब तक ये डिसाइड नहीं कर लेते कि आपको कहाँ जाना है, आप उसके रोड ब्लॉक्स पे काम करना स्टार्ट ही नहीं करोगे. इफ आई से मेरे को टेक्निकल भी करना है, मैनेजरियल भी करना है, प्रॉब्लम वुड बी मैं एक सब्जेक्ट टेक्निकल का तो बहुत अच्छा कर लूंगा बट एक मेरा सब्जेक्ट वीक रह जाएगा जस्ट बिकॉज आई एम फोकसिंग टुवर्ड्स मैनेजरियल एज वेल. सेम गोes फॉर MBA. So always ensure the first step is that you prepare yourself individually through your mind that which field do you want to choose. Once you have decided you want to go for MBA, right? Trust me, it's a complete 360-degree turn, right? There you won't study about any machines, how does a body works, how does a computer works, how does fluid flows or any such thing, because this is all what we imbibe ourselves into. हम एकदम इतना डेडिकेटेडली घुस चुके होते हैं उन सब्जेक्ट्स के अंदर कि इट बिकम्स लिटिल डिफिकल्ट टू जस्ट कम आउट ऑफ दैट बबल एंड स्टार्ट फोकसिंग टुवर्ड्स हाउ कंपनीज आर रनिंग, हाउ बिजनेसेस आर रनिंग, व्हाट आर फाइनेंसेस, व्हाट आर ऑपरेशंस. एक इंजीनियर एक मशीन कैसे चलेगी, चाहे उसकी डिजाइनिंग हो, चाहे उसका सॉफ्टवेयर हो, चाहे उसकी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक अडेप्टेबिलिटी हो, ये डिफाइन तो कर देता है. बट एक्चुअली उन थाउजेंड्स ऑफ मशीन्स को असेंबल करके एक इंडस्ट्री रन कैसे करनी है, दिस एन MBA grad would tell you. How do you manage people who are running that industry? How do you decide which machine to operate at which interval? किस समय कौन सी मशीन ऑपरेट करनी है? This is what an MBA individual would tell you. Second most important thing that I would want to highlight is how do you prepare yourself? What coaching, what study material, what sort of entrance exams or what sort of mock tests you should give. Trust me when I say this, I did not go for any of the coachings. And I'm not against coachings, right? I'm not somebody who would say don't go for coaching. But what I actually mean to say is you need to identify that if I go for coaching, right? If I let's say out of my 24-hour schedule, 8 hours is what I dedicate towards my college, right? Post that, let's say 3 hours I dedicate towards my personal life. 2 hours I dedicate towards my semester studies. Still, do I have time wherein I need to devote it, universally or dedicatedly towards coachings. And that is how you define. There are several coaching institutes who would teach you what is aptitude, what to do, what not to do, what are the formulas or techniques that you should use. But the most important thing that you all should remember is again time management, because it's just 3 hours exam wherein every question you would feel like any exam, right, related to MBA, which is your CAT, your SNAP, your BitSat, your BitMap, or any other exam that you give, right? All of these are your objective type exams. Mostly would be constraining about 100, 120 questions in every question that you think see through, right? आप जो भी क्वेश्चन देखेंगे आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि ये तो बहुत इजी है, ये तो मेरे को आता है, ये तो बेसिक मैथ्स है. But trust me, that would kill your time. You should be so efficient and prepared that even when you have read half of the question, you should be able to analyze what would be the appropriate answer. And this is all about time management again. This comes through practice, right? People always say practice makes man perfect. But I would always say perfect practice makes a man successful. Your practice should also be perfect. If your practice is not perfect, right? If you are still doing the same mistake, it means even if you are practicing, you're not doing the right thing. You need to learn from your mistakes. And that is what you need to do. बहुत सारी coachings है, time है, Gate Academy है, several coachings are there, right? I would preferably say don't go for coachings into very early stage. अगर आप second semester, third semester, fourth semester में आप coachings पे चले जाएंगे, there would be a point where you would feel that अरे ये तो मेरे को सारे formulas, examples सब मेरे को आते हैं. What else do I need to do? And there would be a point you would reach your saturation. बहुत जल्दी saturation आ जाएगा, which is also not good. Opt out for your coachings post sixth semester when you're able to decide that which is my weaker subject. For some people cons is weak, right? For some people communication skills are weak. Most of us, what do we feel is if we are able to talk in English, our communication skills are good. Some people feel if you're able to read English good, our communication skills are good. Some people feel if you're able to write good English, your communication skills are good. But trust me, it's not. It's always a combination. If you are able to read properly, write properly, and communicate properly, that is when you say your communication skills are good. Until and unless you are able to master yourself in all the three fields, trust me, it would not be good. Reason being, it's never that you only have to speak. You might have to write a lot as well, right? When you go into a company domain, company platform, you might have to write a huge, humongous letter to the director or towards the operations head or towards the marketing head as to what do we need to do and why so. SWOT analysis is what we often talk about, right? Let me tell you, it might be a pretty new term. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, as well as threats, right? You need to do your SWOT analysis as well. मेरी strengths क्या हैं? If communication is my strength, is actually reading, writing, and speaking, all three properly are my strengths? If no, then what is my weakness? You would easily identify the second term, that is weakness. The third most important thing that comes into picture is opportunities. What are the opportunities? From where can I learn? Do I need to see certain shows that are very grammatically correct? Do I need to read a good content? Do I need to continue writing? Do I need to start conversing in English with everybody? Or what do I need to do? That are the opportunities. And fourth is threat, right? What can be a threat? What can be a hindrance? If I stop writing, will it be a threat towards my writing skills? A lot of times we often say certain words, but when it comes to writing, we do little alphabetical mistakes, right? Instead of A, we use E. Instead of D, we use T. These are certain mistakes that we often do, and these becomes our threat, right? So you need to ensure that you do a proper SWOT analysis while going towards your coachings as well. Which coaching do you choose? It completely depends on you, right? There's never a good or a bad coaching. कोई coaching अच्छी और खराब कभी नहीं होती है. It is you and you who has to decide and take मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे क्या analysis लेना है. And post that, right, there comes a phase of all your exams, you go through your exams. Again, in exams, don't ever rush towards opting every question. I'll just give you two examples, right? For example, let's say Naveen sir attempts 59 questions out of 100, and out of 59, his 58 questions are correct, or his 58 answers are rather correct. I attempted 80 questions out of 100, out of which my 75 are only correct. In the analysis or the report that comes out, right, on a percentile basis, Naveen sir performance would be better than Nawal's. The reason being, he has actually attempted more amount of right questions out of the selected questions that he has attempted. अगर उन्होंने 60 क्वेश्चंस आंसर करे थे 100 में से, तो उन्होंने 59 करेक्ट आंसर करे थे, which tells us about his accuracy percentage, right? Which is almost close to 99%, which means whatever he's attempting correct. And this is what is the most important parameter throughout all your entrance exams, because everything would be carrying negative markings. It's a very objective type of exam, not the subjective exams that we write for universities, right? It's a very different thing. University में आप subjective लिख के आते हैं, you know what to write, how to write, you give examples, you give elaborations, you dot diagrams, right? In entrance exams in MBA, there's nothing like subjective, there's nothing like you dot diagrams, or you give illustrations or examples. It's just objective type questions. So you need to be very precise and crystal correct. You cannot do it like X, Y, Z. Let's take A example, B example. No, you have to be crystal clear about it. This is the utmost important thing you need to remember while going for any of the exams, right? You need to ensure that you attempt only those things for which you are sure about, or else don't attempt. Trust me, don't attempt. The third part that I would want to show little highlights is how your life changes, right? In engineering, right? While I was doing engineering, I used to love a lot of subjects. I used to think that wow, how does this works? Wow, how does that works? This is very interesting, right? I often remember I used to go a lot of times to the fluid mechanics lab, turn on the water, see how turbines are running, and I just used to stand there and continuously see how turbines are running. But this question never did strike my mind that there are several industries who have thousands of turbines. How do they manage to run all the turbines efficiently, right? How do they manage that the flow goes properly to all those turbines? How do they actually run those industries? And this is what I learned into my managerial life, that is MBA. There are people always say that there are only certain streams like marketing, operations, finance, and HR. But trust me, there's a lot more than that. There's it's a plethora of opportunities that is there lying in front of you, where you learn a lot. Marketing बोलने के लिए बहुत simple term है. It's a very simple term, but actually it comprises of 28 subjects, 28 subjects. And trust me, when I entered my MBA class for the first time, I had this doubt that what would people think that an engineer is coming here to do an MBA. There might be dilemma into the minds of people, but it took me to a shock. मेरे को एक झटका लगा था जब क्लास का एक एनालिसिस हुआ था, and out of a batch strength of 90 students, right, 37% students were engineers, which means more than 1/3 of the class strength were actually engineers. And not to shy away from sharing this number also, out of it, 28 were mechanical engineers. So it's not that people don't opt for managerial field, right? There's a huge chunk of people who actually go for managerial fields. In management course, right, in MBA, you have 4 domains that I can say, but not 4 specializations. Your 4 domains are your finance, your HR, marketing, and operations. Don't be in a rush before joining an MBA that you plan to decide, oh, I want to go for marketing. No, I feel no, I would love accounts. Let me go for finance. I think HR is a very mainstream line, and I would want to go towards HR management. I would want to recruit people. I would want to decide who is a person job fit for this organization. Or there are a lot of people who say that, because I'm from a technical background, I come from an engineering background, let me go for operations. Don't be in a hurry. Don't ever rush, right? Through your first semester, that is your first 3 or 4 months, study everything thoroughly. And there's only one funda that I've used throughout my engineering as well as MBA life. Only study in your classroom. Every word that a professor speaks in a lecture, right, should be kept as a Xerox copy into your mind. Trust me, a faculty always remembers what he or she says in the class. And if you're able to replicate it into your answer sheet, right? If you're able to use the same exact term, the faculty would by default understand that yes, you have actually listened what he or she was teaching. And that is one of my key mantra that I can always tell you. Always ensure that whatever a faculty speaks, you listen to it very properly. Even if a faculty cracks a joke in front of a class, right, it's not to make everybody laugh about it. It's actually to make everybody realize what is the real sense behind it. A lot of times, trust me, we always used to think, why is this faculty uh, having a huge sense of humor, or why is this faculty creating a joke in the class? But later was when I started realizing that there's actually a very in-depth meaning into that joke. अपन को लगता है कि अपन को हंसाने के लिए बोली गई है वो चीज, बट ट्रस्ट मी, उसके पीछे जो एक्सपीरियंस छुपा होता है, जो नॉलेज छुपा होता है, we often as students fail to take that. And that is what one thing again I'll say that we all should remember. It's always a learning for me, and it should also be a learning for everybody, that whatever a professor speaks should be your keyword. And especially in MBA, because it's again very objective, right? Nobody would give you an answer sheet and say, write down 10 examples and 10 scenarios where what would you do. It's all very objective, that if you have this example, if you have this scenario, what would you choose, A or B? Once you choose, then you are given an option to explain why A or B. Until unless you choose, you're not given an option. So again, this is very important. Out of 4 domains, don't rush to decide. Study first 3-4 months, then automatically you would be able to understand that which is one domain wherein you are drawing interest. Then you can go for that. And like Naveen sir said, right, during his time there were only there were only options available to choose one stream. आप एक stream choose कर लीजिए, and then you have to do masters into that. There's a little change in the time. Now you are given an option to choose 2 main streams or 1 majors and 1 minors. So always keep a backup option open for you. Don't just end up saying that okay, I'll just focus towards this. I'm not saying it's wrong to focus towards one domain, but what I'm actually saying is, if you only focus towards one domain, today industries are looking for more versatile people, right? People who have knowledge towards multiple things. Earlier there was a different scenario. Today, if you get an option, always take in mind 2 domains. The reason I'm saying 2 domains is because you would be able to decide which would be my majors and which would be my minors. By majors and minors means, if you're studying 10 subjects, 6 would be of your major subjects and 4 would be towards your minor domain. This will help you to understand and develop a portfolio. आप अपनी एक ऐसी वाइब्रेंट पहचान बना सकोगे जिसके थ्रू इट वुड बी वेरी इजी फॉर यू एंड यू वुड बी वेरी फ्लेक्सिबल फॉर इंडस्ट्री. कल मेरे को एक ए वर्क के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट है, आई कैन इजीली पिकअप एंड से that Nawal, go for this A work. Tomorrow, after 6 months, I feel that one of this department is going down of my organization. I need to put Nawal there. Is Nawal qualified enough? Does Nawal have that knowledge? Will he be able to pull up that domain? I'll put Nawal there. If that domain comes up, trust me, your chances of growing into industry multiplies many folds. It's not that you'll just sit, have experience of 2 years and then you'll get an opportunity. No, it never works like that. Trust me, it never works like that. I have seen people who have been promoted in 1 year or less. That is because they have multiple domain knowledges, they have multiple domain skills. And your life in MBA will completely change, you'll start communicating with people as if you are one of the CEOs, you are one of the entrepreneurs of an industry, you are one of those young minds who would want to start up a business. How do you start up a business, right? Most of us have this in our mind that मैं फ्यूचर में कुछ अपना बिजनेस करना चाहता हूँ या चाहती हूँ, मैं फ्यूचर में कुछ नया करना चाहता हूँ. It's very nice to have that idea, but it's equally important to have a blueprint, a project map of whom do you recruit, where do you start up, what industry do you choose, how do you put in finances, what exactly do you do, how do you pull up all the resources, how do you run the operations. These 6 things are a part of your blueprint. It actually looks very small, but trust me, when you start completing all your resources, जब आप इन सारी चीजों को इकट्ठा करने जाएंगे, so it would take years and years for you to set up an industry. While I say industry, it's not a typical industry. I mean to say any business or any organization is also termed as an industry here. In MBA, right? Again, one very important thing that would be is your exposure. Try to attend as many as guest lectures. People always used to make certain comments that we should not go for this or that. What I'll say is, how many of let's have this as a quick question, right? Because I've been constantly speaking for a huge amount of time. Let's have a quick question to see how many of you are there attentive. How many of you know about TED Talks? TED, TED Talks.
Yes, sir.
That's only one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just share one quick thing. Even if you don't know what a TED Talk is, right? It's completely okay. Just go on Google after this session and search for TED Talks. There are a lot of businessmen, CEOs, philanthropists, a lot of celebrities as well, who are there on TED Talks. Listen to them. Listen to the way they communicate, right? Listen to the way they present their thoughts, their ideas. It will actually help you as an individual to decide and define that how do you pitch yourself. That is where I'll again circle back to the point that I've said in very start. How do you sell yourself? How do you pitch your idea? If I have an idea, right? For example, let's say I come up with an idea that tomorrow we'll build a car that actually runs on solar, right? बोलना बहुत easy है, but to explain it to somebody like Naveen sir who has huge experience into those fields, right? It is gonna take me to write down a complete book and explain. And this is where my pitching would come into place. I can see sir smiling and I can understand that this is one example that sir can easily correlate to. And I hope you all would be able to realize, right? Idea is a very, very tiny part of your success. How do you pitch your idea to somebody who would want to invest in your idea? By investment, it is not only financial investment, right? It's investment of manpower, it's investment of time, it's investment of resources. Every investment that takes part, it all defines from your pitching. How do you pitch? आप अपना idea present कैसे करते हो? अगर आपने सामने वाले को ये चीज दिखा दी कि हाँ ये कार दौड़ रही है और उसने इमेजिन कर लिया कि ये कार दौड़ रही है, ट्रस्ट मी, वो कार बने या ना बने, वो आपकी कार ऑलरेडी एक exempted vehicle बन के उस इंडिविजुअल के सामने प्रेजेंट हो जाती है. एंड दिस इज व्हाट यू लर्न इन MBA कि आप कैसे कोई चीज को एक प्लेटफॉर्म देंगे, एक जरिया देंगे कि कैसे वो आइडिया सारे लोगों तक पहुंचे. एक कंपनी में एक CEO होता है, राइट? There might be 10,000 employees into that organization. There's only one CEO. For CEO, it is very easy to take that decision, right? that from tomorrow onwards, the working hours would be 10 to 7 instead of 9 to 6. It's a very simple blue tick decision that the CEO needs to take. But to make all those 9,999 employees agree to that decision is a huge task. And this is how where that experience of CEO, that the communication of that CEO will come into picture. That how do you make everybody believe that 10 to 7 is far better than 9 to 6. कैसे हम 10 to 7 की अगर एक शिफ्ट ऑपरेट करते हैं तो वो 9 to 6 से बेटर होती है. This is what you will learn. These are certain very tiny little real life examples that I have gone through while I was a team manager or a group manager in Amazon, that I actually learned in my MBA, and I started using them. I'll again give you guys one very simple example, which is a very recent and a live example from my working experience. So earlier when I was a team manager, right, I used to handle a batch strength of 20-25 CSAs, who are customer service associates. That so for those who don't know it, whenever you call Amazon, right, for any query, any refund, any product delivery problem, or any such thing, right, the person you talk to is a customer service associate. Certain amount of those associates used to report to me. After that, I was managing their basic queries. How do we talk to a customer? How do we politely say it to a customer, right? So it often used to come out as a hindrance to a lot of my colleagues in Amazon who would usually used to say that if a customer is very irate, अगर एक customer बहुत गुस्सा हो के आया है तो मेरे CSA को नहीं पता उसको क्या बोलना है और मुझे भी नहीं समझ में आता. And this is where I used to take out my example from my MBA life and tell that this is what you learn about stress management. एक customer जैसे ही आपको पता है गुस्से में आया है, the first and the furthermost important thing that you do is you greet that customer. Hi sir, good morning, good afternoon. I'm very sorry that you're facing this problem. Let me just quickly go through it and let me see how can I help you. The moment you say such words, right, you actually make that customer believe कि जो स्क्रीन के या फोन के दूसरे साइड एक इंडिविजुअल है, that individual is there to help me. That individual is just not doing his work, not doing his job, but is actually there to help me. And ये छोटी छोटी चीजें आपको एक better person बनाती हैं. These small tiny little things, how do you manage such situations, right? And this is just one example. ऐसी कई situation आपके साथ real life में भी आ सकती है. For example, you're going somewhere and all of a sudden you were nowhere wrong, but somebody starts abusing you, right? You should not abuse that individual. What you should do is try to take an advantage out of that situation wherein you can make that individual cool down, understand what is the problem, try to find out a solution. It should not be a rough mind which is running and saying, okay, you want to hit me, I'll hit you. That's not how life works. You need to find out a way wherein the individual can also take the profit and you can also seek the profit. And this is all you learn. How do you manage things? How do you bring out a balance? This is again what you learn through an MBA life. So these are the pretty basic things that you learn, right? And in terms of colleges, there is a huge list of colleges that you can choose, right? Don't stick yourself to, I'll only go for this college or not. Always aim for the best, right? Don't aim for second best, third best, fourth best, fifth best. Don't ever do that. Always aim for the best, but don't ever stick yourself saying, if I get this, then only I'll do or else I'll not do. Because in that, you might actually end up visualizing or understanding the other opportunities that you might miss out. आपको एक A और एक B कॉलेज फ्यूचर में हमेशा आपके सामने एक सिनेरियो आएगा, एक A और एक B कॉलेज. Don't just stick saying कि मैं A में ही जाऊंगा. Just because I've heard my friend saying A is better, मैं A में जाऊंगा. No. Analyze. मेरे लिए क्या बेटर है? मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ? Every college has their own specialization, right? Every college has their own strength, wherein you can see that this is better or that is better. One domain is better in one college, one domain would be better in another college. So see that where you can fit a proper balance, and then go for a college, and then go for deciding. But don't skip any of your entrance exams, is what I'll tell you. There are a lot of people I've seen in my batch as well, right, who are like, मैं सिर्फ कैट दूंगा, मेरे को कैट देने से मतलब है, मैं बाकी कोई एग्जाम नहीं दूंगा. Trust me, that's a very wrong mindset. The more exams you give, right, the more you are strengthening yourself. आप अपने आप को उतना ही powerful और competitive बनाते हो. You know, everybody should be agreeing to this point that your learning never stops. आपकी learning कभी रुकती नहीं है. But the moment you stop taking exams, your learning will stop. Take as many as online mock tests that you can. These are just 30 minutes, 45 minutes mock test online that are free available. I can share a lot of links to everybody who are aspiring to do an MBA, right? There are a lot of links which are available for mock test. Give those mock tests. एक में fail हो सकते हैं, 2 में fail हो सकते हैं, 10 में fail हो सकते हैं. Trust me, 11th time when you try, you would come out as a successful individual. And this is what you learn. This is why I say your learning never stops. So don't hesitate from giving exams. You might not know that, you know, what is waiting for you on the other side. Don't ever put a full stop towards your journey saying, एक exam देना है, ये exam दे लिया, मेरे life का goal achieve हो गया. It should not be ever like that. You should continue learning, continue giving more and more exams, so that when your day comes, you have 10 list of colleges to choose from. Where do I want to go? And then it's completely your decision, right? And once you are done with MBA, right, trust me, one of the strongest, I'll say, vocalist or majority of CEOs or CFOs or COOs, Chief Engineering Operative Executives, Chief Financial Operative Executives, or Chief Operative Executives, all of these either have a majors in one of your domains like marketing, operations, finances, and also have a graduation which is engineering. Trust me, out of 10 people, I can easily point out saying 8 people have their graduation as engineering and their post-graduation as MBAs, who are running those topmost industries. So it is it's a I know it's a pretty wrong term, but I feel it is still correct to use. It's a very undue advantage that we engineers have that others don't have, is that you know the technical field. Tomorrow, you know how does a machine also works and how does a human being also works, right? एक इंसान को आपको कैसे ऑपरेट करवाना है और एक मशीन कैसे ऑपरेट होगी, जब आपको दोनों पता होता है ना, trust me, you run that race. You know everything solid in and out. So that's again a very positive aspect of doing MBA. It's almost 40 minutes that I've been constantly speaking. I'll take a halt now, and I'll open up for all sorts of questions that you have, so that I'll keep on answering that. And if there is any insight that is still left, I'll continue sharing that.
Nawal, just touch about the fees, the range of the colleges and the fees and the finance you should have as a background to pursue MBA. Because many of the
Sure.
people are of the opinion that you need to have lot of money, MBA is very costly, and then touch also about the range of income as a job you get after completing MBA and what you get in a technical. So what I mean to say is that you put the stress over the value, what you are investing and what you are getting. So
Sure.
that may be a helpful insight for the students who are of the opinion कि यार MBA तो मतलब लाखों लाखों लगेगा. So what are the options for the middle class people like us to pursue, how to arrange the finance, and what is the return back, in how many years you get that back? As you have been through this, you will be the right person to put a light on it.
Sure. Thank you for highlighting this point, sir. I'll definitely take this up. Very very skeptical thing that always we have in our mind is, इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है एंड रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है. मैं इन्वेस्ट क्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को रिटर्न क्या मिलने वाला है. Trust me, for all those who think that MBA is, one such qualification which would require a huge lump sum of money, it's not that. It's not that. The fees that you are actually paying for engineering and the fees that you actually pay for MBA are almost equivalent. It's not that you have to pay 10 folds, 15 folds. It's a very wrong assumption that we all live into. Your MBA course starts from somewhere close to 4.5 to 5 lakhs for 2 years and ends up to as high as 15 or 20 lakhs for 2 years, right? There are ample amount of colleges. When I say ample, it's more than 100 amount of colleges that are actually running. And it's always an individual who needs to decide, what do I need to do. It's never a finance that will ever be a hindrance for you, right? There are a lot of facilities that are provided by all such colleges. Even the college where I studied, there was system wherein the college would actually support us to take certain education loans and study on those grounds, and then once we get a job, right, we start repaying back. Till that time, the colleges also support us. So there are certain programs like that as well. So it's not that, if you think that फीस बहुत ज्यादा होने वाली है और मैं अफोर्ड कैसे करूं, trust me, I'll just say, everybody, that it's a humble request. Go through the fee structure. You would actually realize that it's not that ransom that you are paying. And the reason why again I'm saying is, for example, if you pay 4 lakhs, right, for 2 years, trust me, I'm not saying that a particular field is of a less value. But after engineering, right, if you do an engineering, a job that you would easily get as per the current market condition is somewhere close to 3.5 4 lakhs per year. Post doing MBA, right, an investment for 2 years of your time, 4 lakh amount of money, your job would directly switch to more than 6.5 lakh in a year. Which means in the actual time that you did MBA and the money that you have invested, you would easily be able to recover it in the lesser amount of time. आपने 2 साल 4 लाख खर्चा किए थे, ट्रस्ट में आपके 2 साल कंप्लीट भी नहीं होंगे और वो आपके 4 लाख की इन्वेस्टमेंट वापस आ जाएगी. एंड डोंट ओनली थिंक अबाउट द मनी पर्सपेक्टिव. जो एक टैग रहेगा ना आपके पास एक MBA ग्रेजुएट का, this tag will help you not only earn those 6.5 per year, that would also help you earn 6.5 per month. And this is not something that I'm just saying because it was a highlighted point. This is a real life, again, a real life scenario that I'll talk about. There's a friend of mine. I'll not name anybody, right? There was a friend of mine. He entered the same college along with me, right? With the same mindset that, bro, I'm investing this amount of money. I'm not pretty sure how would this help me. Trust me, I ended up getting a job almost 60% as compared to the pay scale of my colleague. While entering, my mindset was, it's okay. I know that my whole sole motive is to earn that degree, is to take that additional knowledge so that I can build myself as an individual. We both invested the equal amount of money, right? His intention was that how do I recover that amount of money and will I be actually able to? Post studying, we both did our studies thoroughly well. But post studying, when there were placement, he got a package almost as compared to, I'll say 40% more than me. So I was almost 60% of his package. आपका package at least 2 to 3 times multiply हो जाता है post your post graduation degree. एक graduation degree के बाद any amount of package that you earn, right, it multiplies at least by 2 to 3 times after your post graduation degree. So just imagine, right, sitting on a package of 2.5 lakhs or 3 lakhs per month, per year for next 2 to 3 years, or investing those 2 years of time and then earning almost six and a half, 7.5 lakhs per year? What would you choose? Trust me, if you think for 2 minutes, you would get your answer. You only need to think for 2 minutes and you will get your answer. कि वो 2 साल की इन्वेस्टमेंट आपको नॉलेज देती है, आपको एक्सपीरियंस देती है, आपको एक एडिशनल डिग्री देती है जो आपके लाइफ टाइम आपके साथ रहने वाली है. Nobody can take that away from you, and also gives you a better paid job. So why not to go for this field, right? You'll always see all the advantages lying into this side. आपको सारे फायदे ही दिखेंगे, कोई नुकसान नहीं होएगा कभी. Sir, I hope I would have answered that question. Or still, is there anything?
Yes, very beautifully, Nawal. You have covered the things what I wanted to convey. You know, it's always difficult as being a teacher to convince my students what you are saying. So you are closely associated both in the age-wise and the number of years which I have got making around the sun makes the difference. हम लोग अभी बहुत aged type हो गए हैं. These guys are very afraid of me when I say something. They take it rather than as advice, they take it as an order and command. So here that what I want to convey them वो छुप जाता है जब ये ना command लेने लगते हैं. That's why along with Akash Soni sir and MRK and all the other faculty members, we started to think about this problem कि हम लोग तो age रुक नहीं सकता, हम लोग तो बुढ़े होंगे. But these guys are going to be of the same age, 18 to 22. So down the line, we will be so far away from these guys. So at that point, it was suggested that we should bring in the alumni. They have reached those pinnacle positions where their word of mouth will put the impact. So in this regard, we have started this alumni talk, and we are very happy to see that 80 persons were there. And Nawal, again, you are heartthrob of the other departments. People from other department also joined, and not for a very long time they were there, but I was seeing that at a mark we crossed 87 people also. So it's a big figure because our strength of mechanical departments has reduced to 42. In one of the semester we have got only 24. So there was a time when we used to lead by 120 in each semester. So for us it's a very big figure, and I open the forum for everyone to talk freely to Nawal. And Nawal, I will be taking leave because now it's a question hour, so I don't want to be a hindrance, because my presence, I feel, do make roadblocks between the communication between you and your colleague. So all the very best to all the aspirants who are preparing for MBA. And guys, myself, I have done my MTech honors and MBA also with honors. So I am both a technical guy and MBA guy. Unfortunately, I got selected in Goa Institute of Management in 1997. I got through that. At that time it was through MAT, but again, due to financial position, I was not able to cope up with the fees structure. And that's why I always keep on stressing that the talent should not be killed just because of few bucks. At my time, there was no loans, and taking loan from any of the bank was a black stigma that, oh. But today, I think most of the students prefer loan, and even big IM guys are also taking loan of 17 to 16 lakhs, and their package, no doubt, it's big enough. But my dear students who are listening my voice, if you are aspirant for management, I tell you one thing. In the technical field, don't take it otherwise, क्योंकि मैं MBA भी किया हूँ, टेक्निकल का भी हूँ, तो मैं किसी भी एक चीज को कम नहीं आंकना चाह रहा हूँ. But if you want to be a manager, you want to be in administration, you want to be in such a place where your single signature is going to turn lakhs and crores from one place to another, then you have to be an MBA guy. Believe me, by doing the technical courses, you cannot be in that place where we call it as admin, which is the power lobby of any corporate house, where your judgment and your command, you are in board meetings where you are giving the suggestions, you are making the strategy for down the line 10 years, making big mergers, acquisitions, transfers. ये सारी चीजें अगर पावर का खेल खेलना है और वो एक है आप में, और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में आप जाना चाहते हैं, जो आप पिक्चरों में देखते हैं ना, आगे पीछे सेक्रेटरी चल रहा है, प्लेन में उड़ना चाहते हैं, तो आई थिंक एमबीए विल ओपन द डोर्स फॉर दैट, इजंट इट? और कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेस एक अलग कल्चर है, टेक्निकल अपना अलग कल्चर है, अपना अपना फ्लेवर है. आई हैव बीन इन द मिड लाइन ऑफ बोथ द थिंग्स, सो आई नो इन एंड आउट. आई हैव बीन इन इंडस्ट्री, इन मार्केटिंग, so I know the pros and cons of both the things. So judge yourself very accurately. As Nawal has said, strength, weakness आपको अपना बहुत जरूरी जानना है. So Nawal, I will take leave, and when this corona is over and when you feel good enough and safe enough to travel, do come along the department. Things have changed a lot, and hopefully we will be having face-to-face interaction of you with the young aspirants of MBA. So all the very best. I will take leave. You people please continue. Okay. Thank you, Nawal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll open this platform for all sorts of questions that anybody has, right? No questions as of now. Was the session a little boring, or is everything very thoroughly clear? I would assume the first part. No questions as of now to anybody?
Sir, the questions are. We have many aspirants. They have some questions they will ask.
Sure, sure,
If
sure.
you have
I'll
questions, please write in the chat. I have opened the chat box for everyone. So we have a question.
Right. So the first question that we have is 1 year enough for CAT preparation? So again, I'll not say it's enough, but it actually depends on how quickly can you learn things, right? For somebody who can learn things very quickly, needs little amount of practice, even 4 or 5 months is enough. For there are certain people for whom, I've seen 1.5 year is also less. But I'll still stick to my same point. Don't start too early. The fastest that you can start is till, I'll say, end of fifth or sixth semester. Don't start much before that, because if you do that, at one point you'll reach that saturation कि मुझे तो पता है इसमें क्या होता है, मुझे आता है इसमें नया क्या है, and that feeling will actually make you fall down. So 1.5 year is pretty good, pretty good, and a very healthy preparation time. Okay, next question that we have is, if you want to do startup, is it true? No. It's actually very wrong, Sagar. So if you actually want to do a startup, please, it's my humble request, do MBA. The reason why I'm saying is, आप कल एक कंपनी खोलते हैं, अगर आपको ये नहीं पता है कि मुझे पीपल मैनेजमेंट कैसे करना है, तो आप अपनी कंपनी कभी नहीं चला पाएंगे. बिकॉज यू कैन नेवर सेटिस्फाई एवरी इंडिविजुअल, राइट? आप हर किसी को खुश नहीं कर सकते, बट यू नीड टू मेंटेन अ बैलेंस वेयर यू आर सेटिस्फाइंग पीपल एंड अर्निंग प्रॉफिट्स, राइट? बिकॉज आपका स्टार्टअप आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट यू लर्न इन MBA. No technical field would ever tell you how to invest on people and how to manage people. That is what you learn through an MBA. And any startup, right? Even if the tiniest or the most humongous startup that you would have heard, it all depends on how happily you manage your people. So for people management, MBA is must. It's a request from my side. I'll say that if you ever want to do a startup, please at least do an MBA, so that you learn about how do you maintain a right balance between your finances, your operations, your people, and your time. See, Sagar, again, it's a distance program, right? It's always like practicing in nets. अगर आपने सिर्फ net practice किया है, but on-field game नहीं खेला है, so there would be a difference, right? I'm not saying that distance learning programs are not good. They're good, but then again, the exposure is something that you will miss out. Talking to a lot of individuals into a college where a lot of aspirants are there, you'll get to see your competition. You will realize, आपको देख के समझ में आ जाएगा कि मुझे क्या improve करना है और क्या नहीं. You'll get the exposure of certain amount of companies that come through your college, right? You'll get to meet a lot of faculties whose experience would actually help you uh, to build your personality. And these all things you'll always miss on distant learning. Distant learning में class होगा और खत्म. That's it. आपका learning बहुत stagnant हो जाएगा. It would be very very uh, it would not be a exponential graph. Sinusoidal curve रह जाएगा. वो exponentially grow नहीं कर पाओगे आप. बिकॉज आप सारे एक्सपोजर्स आपके छूट जाएंगे ना. आपकी इंटर्नशिप अपॉर्चुनिटीज छूट जाती हैं, आपका इंटरेक्शन छूट जाता है. व्हेन यू मीट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल यू एक्चुअली सी कि अरे यार इसमें ये अच्छी क्वालिटी है, मेरे को ये क्वालिटी लेनी है, मेरे को भी इसके जैसे बोलना है, मेरे को भी इसके जैसे चलना है, मेरे को इसके जैसे बनना है. दैट इज व्हाट यू एक्चुअली सी व्हेन यू फिजिकली मीट पीपल. So these all things would definitely be missing into distant learning. So I would recommend a full-time MBA as compared to a part-time or a distant learning. What else? Come on. Bring up all your questions. I'm happy to answer. Come on. Don't feel any of the question is gonna be a small or big question. Currently I'm an entrepreneur. I'm actually pursuing business which is named as MP Steel Traders. I'm a steel dealer of flat products. That's my current profession. Earlier I had experience of approximately 2.5 years in Amazon India. So thank you for bringing one very important question. I would have missed out on covering this. So बहुत से लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं कि मैं हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ या मेरी इंग्लिश वीक है, सो मेरे लिए बिजनेस स्कूल एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं है. लोग मेरे पे शायद हंस सकते हैं, मेरा मजाक बन सकता है, मेरे को इंफीरियर फील हो सकता है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ट्रस्ट मी, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आज की डेट में इंडिया की ऐसी कोई कंपनी नहीं है जिसका वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसिंग इंडिविजुअल हिंदी ना बोलता हो. It is not that any of the influencing individuals of one of these organizations would not be speaking in Hindi, right? Or would not understand Hindi. Hindi is our basic language, and this is something, our mother language, our national language. This is something we should, be proud of. Yes, I would recommend everybody to work a little on your communication, work a little on your English vocabulary, but that's something you can learn with time. आप वक्त के साथ उसको सीख सकते हो, improve कर सकते हो, बट ये कभी रुकावट नहीं बनेगी आपके लिए. ऐसा कोई दिन नहीं आएगा जिस दिन आपको ये फील होगा कि मेरी इंग्लिश थोड़ी कम अच्छी है इसीलिए मेरे को एमबीए नहीं करना चाहिए, या मेरा बिजनेस स्कूल में मेरे को इंटरेस्ट कम आएगा, या वहां पे लोग इंग्लिश में बात करेंगे तो मैं कैसे करूंगा. ऐसा कभी नहीं होता है. ट्रस्ट मी, इफ आई वुड हैव स्पेंट 2 years, for almost close to 500 days मैं सिर्फ हिंदी में ही बात करता था. At times when it is necessary to talk in English, we talk in English, or else we all are very comfortable in Hindi and we all do that. So it's never that you're gonna face difficulty. It's just a small recommendation that if you feel your English is little weak or your communications are little weak and you can improve on them, then please start investing time. दिन के 30 minutes is what I'll recommend. Read a good article in English. Write 5 lines, 10 lines in English. Anything that you love about, right? आपको जो भी पसंद है उसके बारे में. This will help you gain confidence and improve your communications. What else? What else? Come on, bring up the questions. और कुछ भी, कोई भी question है आपके mind में, सबसे silly question भी होगा, so I would be happy to answer. So when did you decide that you wanted to switch the fields and being a technical guy? What inspired you to do Indian tech? So Piyush, like I mentioned, right, I decided this towards beginning of seventh semester. When I was in my seventh sem, I decided that, it's time for me to move towards MBA. And the reason I chose MBA was again because somebody who knows, who has a technical knowledge and is also having a managerial experience or exposure, right? Not only runs an industry but also owns an industry. This is something I read, I realized, and then I finally decided that, yes, टेक्निकल नॉलेज है मेरे पास, मुझे बेसिक टेक्निकलिटीज पता है. कल मुझे अगर एक टॉप नॉच पोजीशन पे पहुंचना है, then it is right time for me to go towards a managerial role where I not only know कि यार ये मशीन चलेगी या नहीं, but I also know कि ये मशीन चला कौन सकता है और कौन नहीं. So that is how I was able to differentiate that, do I want to go for MTech or MBA? And it was seventh semester when I decided that, it's time that I should go for MBA. Extracurricular activities, it's not mandatory, but yes, you always get an upper hand if you are good in certain extracurricular activities, right? It's always, that मुझे अगर दो लोगों के बीच में कंपैरिजन करना पड़े एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे, so somebody who has additional exposure of certain extracurricular activities, I'll definitely pick and choose that individual, right? If both are equally qualified. So in that sense, your extracurricular activities are an additional feather in your cap, but it's not mandatory or compulsory. Diwakar is asking, hi sir, as you said earlier, to listen to faculty, can you know we are attending every class online? So Diwakar, whether it's online, offline, right, or any such thing, it's never that you can't listen to what the faculty say. Be it a physical class or be it an online class, right? In both the cases, you actually need to correlate things. If somebody is teaching you that again let me take an example of fluid mechanics, right? अगर फ्लूइड इस वेलोसिटी से इस टरबाइन पे गिरेगा तो टरबाइन कैसे घूमेगी? If you're able to visualize that, if you're able to understand what the professor is teaching, right, at that point of time, if you're able to correlate, वो एग्जाम्पल हमेशा आपके दिमाग में छप के रह जाएगा और वो एग्जैक्ट चीज आप अपने एग्जाम्स में निकाल पाएंगे. And this is something that will help you to write and relate. If you're able to relate everything that you study with live example, trust me, आपको दूसरी बार कभी पढ़ने की नीड नहीं पड़ेगी. बहुत easy हो जाएगा आपके लिए. Everything would be very easy. So even if you're in an online class, right, give your 100% attention for those 60, 90, 45 minutes towards what the teacher is teaching. वो बोल क्या रहे हैं? Even if they're saying any example, any statement, right? Go through it. Try to correlate it. Try to bring out your examples, and this is what will help you. Okay, so Tarun, like JEE, there are for exams for MBA, like Matt sir has said, CAT is there. For Symbiosis, there are other exams. Bitmaps is there, ISC is there, IBSAT is there. So once you scroll through the list of colleges, side by side you'll also get which type of exam is required to qualify into those colleges. So pick and choose 4 or 5 category of exams that you want to give, and give all those exams. There's a huge list of online exams that you can give. Don't rush for every other exam because dates might clash. So you might have to pick and choose which is better one, and then accordingly go for that. But again, don't restrict to only one or two exams. At least keep an option of 4 or 5 exams open for you. Okay, so Vinith is asking, can you give details about your entrepreneurship journey, like what exactly you do, how and why did it start, and okay, perfect. Vinith, so while I was working in Amazon, there was a time when I finally decided that uh, it's a decent amount of exposure that I have had managing my teams into Amazon, managing people, and now is the time that I should go and uh, pursue business where I want to do something on my own. I want to build my team who would be investing and who would be, dealing into something that I personally own. And this is how I started my entrepreneurship journey. And in this, it's actually a retrading sort of a business where we take the finished goods or semi-finished goods from certain industries, and then we provide it to the end customers. So your flat products that are there, your flat iron sheets that are there, we purchase it from certain manufacturers like Tata, JSW, and then we provide it to the end customers who require it. And that's how I'm doing my business. And team, it's a pretty small team. Currently I don't have somebody for marketing because it's me who's doing it individually. But likewise, when I grow it into multiple folds, I'll definitely look for people there. Okay, Naresh is asking. So, see, Naresh, again, there's a difference, right? This would be a mixture of degree, which would not be, very domain specific. It would not be something like, you have a complete, full in-depth exposure or knowledge towards all the fields of MBA. So my advice would be that if you want to go for MBA, go for a proper full-time MBA course from a college that provides a full-fledged MBA degree, not from somebody somewhere where your technical as well as your managerial both are involved, because again you'll miss out on the core basics. So don't go for such mixed courses. Always choose either black or white. Don't run for gray areas. Uh, yeah, sure. That's a very nice point that you've highlighted. Definitely, yes. In MBA, there's a domain called finance, right? In finance, you study a lot about balance sheet, account statements, cash flows. How does your annual report looks like, and all of these are very important in stock market, right? If you want to invest, you need to identify how is this company doing, कैश फ्लो कैसा है इस कंपनी की, बैलेंस शीट कैसी है, हेल्दी है कि डेटर्स हैं बहुत ज्यादा, लाइबिलिटीज हैं इस कंपनी पे, डू आई नीड टू इन्वेस्ट इनटू दिस स्टॉक, दिस शेयर और नॉट. So this knowledge you can definitely gain from MBA, and it's a very I'll say if you want to invest your time in stock market, MBA would definitely be a very helpful degree for you, very helpful. Vinith sir, how can I further contact in future when LinkedIn seems inactive? Vinith, it's not inactive. I am actually not using it since a long time because I've moved to other platforms. What I'll do is I'll drop my email ID as well as my WhatsApp number, so that in case anybody wants to contact me, can definitely reach out to me, and if I can be of any help, I'll be glad to help. Nidhi is asking. No, Nidhi, it's not that. So every college has a different criteria, right? From the college that I did my MBA, the job experience was not a criteria. There are certain colleges, certain IIMs that are there who have a criteria of work experience, right? So yes, work experience will always be handy and can be of good help, but it's not that if you don't have any work experience you cannot do MBA. That's a complete no and a very elusive statement. डोंट गो बिहाइंड दैट स्टेटमेंट. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. अगर आपके पास वर्क एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है तो भी आप MBA बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं। बहुत सारे ऐसे कॉलेजेस हैं जो आपको MBA करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हैं, एंड दैट आर इक्वली गुड कॉलेजेस। जॉब एक्सपीरियंस है, होता है, इट्स वेरी गुड, इट्स ऑलवेज अ फेदर इन योर कैप। नहीं होता है, देन ऑल्सो इट्स नॉट गोना बी अ रोड ब्लॉक, रुकावट नहीं बनेगा वो आपके लिए। Any other question, guys? I guess Akash sir is there. Sir, we have couple of more minutes, right? If we want to take one or two questions.
Yes. We have the full liberty to go ahead. Everyone is, I think, cherishing everything that you are sharing, Nawal.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you, sir.
I
Come
too
on,
am
come on.
listening to the things very carefully.
Thank
Lot
you,
of
sir.
things to learn for us as well.
No, sir. I still keep on learning a lot from you also.
Definitely, that is a never-ending process, as you said. Learning, teaching, learning, that goes hand in hand.
Yes, sir.
बट एक चीज जरूर बोलूंगा, मतलब कई बार हम हमेशा क्रिकेट की बात करते हैं, एग्जाम्पल देते हैं उसका, तो हम हमेशा बैटिंग करना एंजॉय करते हैं, बट कई बार बहुत अच्छे बैट्समैन को बैटिंग करते हुए नॉन स्ट्राइकर एंड से भी देखना, दैट इज ऑल टुगेदर ए गुड फीलिंग. सो राइट नाउ वी आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग द सेम.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Anything that you would want to ask? Okay, there's one question. MBA mainly consists of people from commerce background. No, Piyush. So I guess you might have missed out on that point I highlighted, right? 39% is what was the strength of engineers into a batch of 90 MBA graduates, right? So it's not that it mainly consists of people coming from commerce background or arts background, or some other background. It's never that. And MBA is not a field that would consist of huge technical jargons. कोई ऐसे बहुत टेक्निकल वर्ड्स होंगे जो आपको नहीं पता होंगे, आपको प्रॉब्लम आएगी, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है। ट्रस्ट मी, इट्स अ कंप्लीट रोलर कोस्टर राइड फॉर एवरीबॉडी। सबके लिए उतनी ही चीजें चेंज हो जाती हैं, even if you're from a commerce background or from some technical background, right? And there is a huge chunk of engineers जो MBA करते हैं, so it's never that you'll miss out on that. We need just 1 second. I'm just typing that. Right. So here are my contact details for anybody who would want. Nagisa does India top MBA colleges consider GMAT score? So GMAT is a completely different exam, Nidhi. So it's not related to somewhere close to your MBA into Indian colleges. GMAT is basically more dedicated and focused towards people who would want to go for MS courses, MS specialization courses out of India. So again, for Indian MBA colleges, the topmost priority is given to CAT. Then it is certain private exams that are there for certain institutes. That is how the list runs. GMAT might be considerable for certain colleges, might not be for certain colleges. So don't just stick to GMAT. Go for CAT and other exams as well. Okay, Sagar has a question. MBA from Raipur, MBA anywhere in India, MBA abroad. Sagar, MBA abroad is definitely, for me, it's a no-no. Don't go for that specific field, because there are very good colleges in India that you can cherish for opportunities. MBA from Raipur, MBA from India, I leave that decision to you as to how well is the environment suiting to you. When I say environment suiting to you, it means how do you think that is it fit for you to go out of Raipur and pursue in some other colleges, or you actually want to just stick to Raipur and continue with your family and then stay here and do? That's completely an individualistic question. But yes, there are ample amount of good colleges in India. So don't think for abroad. Stick yourself to India. Study here. Maybe you can, if you want and if you wish to, you can go for certain jobs to abroad. That's a second case that you should look for. But don't look for MBA into abroad. That's possibly straight no from my end. Rest Raipur, India. It's completely your choice. How well it goes for you. Right. Anything more? Anything more?
Sir, I wanted to ask one question, sir. I will go a little bit out of context. Sir, actually, sir, during our preparation, sir, we go through many ups and downs. Like sometimes we feel like we can't clear this exam, and sometimes we even feel like we'll definitely clear this exam. Sir, I am so dubious that I think many of us are so dubious for our own potent. Sir, I feel like person who have been there at an eminent institutions like yours. Sir, I want to know that what are the characteristics that they possess, or what are the habits you have seen on them, sir. You have noticed on them, sir. Can you please, sir, tell me about it? And sir, what have you done for your communication skills, sir?
So, Pulkit, there are no, good or bad characteristics, I'll say. There are definitely better ones that you can choose from. Communications के लिए, Pulkit, as I said, right, reading good articles, अच्छे articles पढ़ो, लिखने की practice करो, and try reading or whatever you have written in front of mirror. Nobody is a better audience apart from you yourself as an individual. आपसे बेटर आपके लिए कोई ऑडियंस नहीं है. अगर आपने खुद को इम्प्रेस कर दिया एंड खुद को समझा दिया कि क्या सही है और क्या गलत है, ट्रस्ट मी, nobody else would ever be bothered about it. तो दैट इज हाउ यू इम्प्रूव ऑन योर कम्युनिकेशन. मैं यही करता हूँ, आज भी यही करता हूँ. कोई चीज के लिए मुझे लगता है तो मैं उस चीज के रिलेटेड खुद से बात करता हूँ, खुद को समझाता हूँ. जब मैं खुद कन्विंस हो गया तो मुझे पता है मैं किसी और को भी कन्विंस कर सकता हूँ. दैट इज हाउ आई वर्कड ऑन माई कम्युनिकेशन.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Nawal, are you there? Have we lost connection with Nawal?
So we might have a technical issue. I'm just checking with them.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay.
Hi, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
I'm extremely sorry. Don't know because of internet, it got dropped off from the phone.
No worries, sir.
इट्स ओके नवल, कोई बात, कोई इशू नहीं नवल, बहुत बढ़िया सेशन था.
Thank you so much, sir. Anything else, right? Anything that I might have missed out on answering?
हेलो नवल।
Yes, please go ahead.
हाँ नवल, कई बार बच्चों बेटे मयंक शर्मा बोल रहा हूँ मैं।
Uh, Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
हाँ गुड आफ्टरनून बेटे। कई बार बच्चों को एक दिक्कत ये रहती है कि मतलब वो तैयारी करते हैं सपोज ड्रॉप लेके, तो कई बार
Yes,
बच्चे के
sir.
दिमाग में कोई पर्टिकुलर कॉलेज होता है, तो
Okay.
उस पर्टिकुलर कॉलेज में जाने के लिए लगातार 2-3 साल ड्रॉप लेके प्रिपरेशन करना बेहतर है कि कोई उससे हो सकता है थोड़ा सा कम लेवल का कॉलेज अगर मिल रहा है तो उसको लेके मतलब उससे आगे बढ़ना क्या बेहतर होता है आपके हिसाब से?
Sir, I'll again rephrase on the point that I mentioned earlier also, and ये सबके लिए है कि एक बेस्ट के लिए एम करना बहुत अच्छी बात है, बट एक कॉलेज पे स्टिक कर जाना इज नॉट अ वेरी वाइज सॉल्यूशन. वो बहुत अक्लमंदी वाला डिसीजन नहीं होगा. रीजन भी, आप एक्चुअली देखिए आप कितना टाइम इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर. you know once lost money and once lost time can never be returned back, right? आप जितना भी पैसा कमा लें या आप जिंदगी जी लें या आप टाइम स्पेंड कर लें, जो चला गया है आप उसको वापस कभी नहीं ला पाएंगे. So my suggestion would always be that don't put on too much of your time, like 2 years, 3 years, just waiting for one particular college. No, don't do that. You can also choose for second best. Be the best there. आपने चूज तो सेकंड बेस्ट किया है और आप उस कॉलेज में अगर बेस्ट हैं, तो दैट्स इक्विवेलेंट टू यू studying from the college that you were thinking is best. सो इट्स नॉट वेरी एडवाइजेबल फ्रॉम माई साइड. मेरे तरफ से ये कभी आप लोग के लिए डिसीजन नहीं रहेगा कि अपने को आपको एक कॉलेज पे स्टिक करिए. ऐसा मत करिए, प्लीज डोंट एवर डू दैट. इट्स ओके टू कीप अ टारगेट इन माइंड. इट्स ओके टू कीप अ बैलेंस कि मुझे यहाँ जाना है. आपको आपका टारगेट पता होना चाहिए. बट अगर आप कहीं अटक रहे हैं तो अपने आप को इम्प्रूव करिए, बट बहुत ज्यादा टाइम मत वेस्ट कर दीजिए उसके ऊपर, बिकॉज वो 2-3 साल जिंदगी के शायद आप कहीं और से कुछ और अच्छा पढ़ के अपनी लाइफ को बहुत बेहतर बना सकते थे. सो दैट विल बी माई सजेशन. Okay, so there's a question by Nidhi. Okay. Sir, is this a myth or real that MBA limits up to finance, HR, global business, and marketing? Nidhi and Devakar, these are actually domains. ये domains है. Finance, HR, global business, marketing, operations, ये domains होते हैं. एक domain के अंदर बहुत सारे सब डोमेन्स, कैटेगरीज, फील्ड्स हैं. लाइक फॉर मार्केटिंग आई कैन गिव यू एग्जांपल, राइट? ब्रांड मार्केटिंग, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, सेल्स, सेल्स एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, सर्विसेज, channels of marketing, managing family businesses. So there are n number of certain channels or fields that are there into these domains, right? So it is actually a endless spectrum wherein you can gain multiple amount of inputs. But yes, these are the four major domains because it actually covers everything. आपका जितना भी चीज होता है वो सब कुछ ये चार डोमेन कवर कर लेते हैं इंडिया में. सो यस, ये चार डोमेन होते हैं. बाकी इसके अंदर सब फील्ड्स इतने सारे होते हैं दैट यू कैन योरसेल्फ चूज. Right. Any last minute questions? As I can see, we are gonna close the chat box. Any last questions that is there?
So Naval, what we feel from our side means on behalf of the department is that all your juniors are going to benefit a lot for themselves from this eventful session. Okay. So Naval, your session was very informative. And what we observed, what we listened to you is that you have covered a lot of key features, including the accuracy part of thing that you were discussing during the course of your lecture and its significance. And we often say that numbers never lie, right? So you have very beautifully explained the significance of facts and figures as to how many aspirants and students are into MBA from mechanical or from engineering background, right? You very smartly explained on how to choose the streams for pursuing the MBA courses, okay? And moreover, as sir was also mentioning that you very beautifully explained the significance of attending lectures. So more or less this is going to help us as well because हमारे जो भी batches हैं second semester, fourth semester, sixth or eighth, maximum students बहुत अच्छे हैं. They are regularly attending all the lectures, but few of them are always there as we all know. जिनके पीछे हमको कई बार चेस करना पड़ता है कि क्लासेस आइए करके. So you directly or indirectly helped us as well in that perspective, right? और एक चीज हम लोग जरूर फील करते हैं, जैसे तुमने बहुत अच्छा शब्द का इस्तेमाल किया, बबल, टॉकिंग एवरी डे बेस्ड ऑन द टेक्निकल टॉपिक्स, एक सब्जेक्ट पे दूसरा सब्जेक्ट, एक सेमेस्टर पे दूसरा सब्जेक्ट. जनरली वी टेंड टू कन्फाइन अवरसेल्व्स इन दैट डोमेन, राइट? So based on your talk, what we feel is that we will be able, our students will be able to break those shackles, right? And they will be able to stretch themselves, and based on that, they will be able to expose themselves to a whole new world of opportunities. क्योंकि जब हम, मैं रिकॉल कर सकता हूँ, जब हम भी स्टूडेंट थे वे बैक इन 2008 आई हैव ग्रेजुएटेड, उस टाइम हम लोग को दो ही चीज़ समझ में आती थी, या तो गेट या तो MBA. अब वो इग्नोरेंस था, बाकी चीज़ों के बारे में नहीं पता था, वो वाला फैक्टर था, या डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज, बट हम लोग को दो ही चीज़ समझ में आती थी, गेट और MBA. ठीक है. तो अभी तुम्हारे टॉक से बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को ये भी क्लैरिटी मिली है कि इंजीनियरिंग का ब्लेंड, इंजीनियरिंग का जो मिक्सचर है MBA के साथ, दैट इज अगेन ए फैंटास्टिक थिंग, राइट? तो ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म लेट मी टेल एवरीवन दैट अभी हम लोग, जैसे कल तुमसे भी शेयर कर रहा था मैं, कि बहुत सारे एलुमनी टॉक्स करा रहे हैं, हर संडे वी आर हैविंग ए एलुमनी टॉक. तो उसके बाद बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का कॉल भी आ रहा है, दे आर मोर अवेयर रिगार्डिंग देयर करियर पर्सपेक्टिव कि आगे उनको क्या करना है, दे आर थिंकिंग ऑफ द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द थिंग, राइट? तो तुम्हारे टॉक के बाद ये चीज़ और ऐड ऑन होगी, ये चीज़ और इंक्रीज होगी. ओके. So on this positive note, let me ask Divakar to extend gratitude and thanks on behalf of all your juniors to you.
सर एक बात बोलना चाहूंगा सर नवल से मैं, क्योंकि सारे स्टूडेंट्स हमारे, जैसे आप बोल रहे थे क्लास में कुछ स्टूडेंट आते नहीं है, अटेंड नहीं करते क्लासेस, वैसे ही
वो यहाँ पर भी नहीं होंगे,
यहाँ पे भी नहीं है, लेकिन जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो वो MA के इवेंट में ही पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते. नवल खुद एक MA प्रेसिडेंट था पहले, इन्होंने मेंशन भी नहीं किया कि MA प्रेसिडेंट था, लेकिन नवल MA का प्रेसिडेंट था. ठीक है. और तो नवल जानता है कि एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर और MA में क्या की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है. तो नवल प्लीज आप अपने जूनियर्स को बताओ कि भैया कि ये इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट करें एक्टिवली.
Definitely, sir. And this is one very fantastic point that I would want to highlight, that my journey or my interest into those extracurricular activities actually started from MEA. I still remember when I was in 6th semester, and it was all on us that how do we want to take ahead this program. And believe me or not, हम लोगों के टाइम पे we weren't expecting that all the streams would come out and we would have a very well organized program. But MEA actually gave me a platform to try out these opportunities. मेरे कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स के साथ, जो मैं सबसे बड़ी चीज आज अगर मैं बोल सकूं, मेरे को सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज और मोटिवेशन जो मिला था MEA से, वो था मेरे इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑन कम्युनिकेशन. मेरे को वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिला था जहां पे मैं पूरे कॉलेज के आगे अपने डिपार्टमेंट को रिप्रेजेंट कर सकता हूं, वेयर आई कैन इंटरैक्ट, होस्ट अ शो. दैट एक्चुअली वाज वन ऑफ utmost आई विल से benefit I could have reaped out of MEA as an association, and it actually helped us. लोगों को क्या लगता है, एक बहुत कन्फाइंड माइंडसेट बन जाता है कि मैं क्यों पार्टिसिपेट करूं, मैं ऑडियंस में रह के क्यों ना इस पूरे इवेंट को एंजॉय करूं. बट ट्रस्ट मी, योर एंजॉयमेंट multiplies 10, 20, 50 times when you are on the participating side, because you're not only participating, you're competing with yourself. आप लोगों को जब मोटिवेट करते हो, जब आप लोगों को एंटरटेन करते हो, जब आप लोगों के लिए कुछ करते हो, तो ट्रस्ट मी, आपको उसमें कई गुना ज्यादा अच्छा लगेगा, मजा आएगा, एंजॉयमेंट होगा, और आपकी लर्निंग बहुत ज्यादा होती है. सो आई ऑलवेज एनकरेज एवरीबडी टू प्लीज बी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिव टूवर्ड्स ऑल सच इवेंट्स. कभी भी ये नहीं सोचना कि मैं इस इवेंट में क्या करूंगा या क्या करूंगी या मुझे क्या मिलेगा. ट्रस्ट मी, हम लोग, मनीष सर वुड बी अ वेरी वेरी एप्ट एग्जाम्पल. हम लोग सर के पास खड़े होके आधा आधा घंटा ये बोलते थे, सर प्लीज एमईए के अंडर एक इवेंट करा लेने दो, हमारे को एक इवेंट करा लेने दो, हमारे को एक इवेंट करा लेने दो. नॉट बिकॉज दैट वुड गिव अस एन अपॉर्चुनिटी जस्ट टू कंडक्ट समथिंग, बट इट वॉज ऑल्सो एन एक्सपोजर फॉर अस. एक एक्सपोजर मिलता था हमारे को, एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता था अपने टैलेंट को और निखारने का, अपने आप को और अच्छा बेहतर पर्सनालिटी डेवलप करने का. So yes, MEA has always played a very pivotal role for me and was one of the stepping stones for me to decide my journey.
Thank you, Nawal.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Thank you so much, sir, for letting us know all the ups and downs of the phase and the path of success. And now, as we have come to end of the session, I would request Iman sir to please join us on the screen to present vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Divakar. Now, firstly, I would like to thank Nawal Arora sir for accepting our invitation and taking out the treasurable time to enlighten us with his knowledge. Thank you, sir. Today's talk was full of knowledge and interesting thing. It gave us deep insight of the topic. I am pretty sure that this talk would really help the aspirants. Thank you so much, sir, for everything. I would like to thank our HOD sir and all the faculty members and the participants also, and all the faculties under guidance of the all faculties. This wonderful event is possible. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Nawal. Hope to see you soon.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you to all my faculties for helping me to build my career, providing all the knowledge that is there. Because hadn't been the support of Akash sir, Mayank sir, Manish sir, Naveen sir, and all the faculty members, I wouldn't have been able to achieve or do what I'm currently doing. So a huge part of credit goes to all my faculties. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a very polite and a very humble audience as well. Thank you.
थैंक्स नवल, बहुत ही शानदार सेशन था बेटे. थैंक्स.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.